Quick Monday night update here. I know a lot of people are watching the late weekend for a storm to develop, and a storm will develop, but it's way too early to determine where, when, and how the system will develop. So today's video, I want to make it quick and just show you the differences between the two models right now, one being the American and one being the European, and how they're handling this storm and why there's different solutions. So this is upper air energy on the GFS. Now, as we head into later this week, notice this this is a big vortex up here, and it's pressing a lot of cold air down. So there's a lot of cold air ahead of our approaching cutoff low from the south. And this is attached to the southern jet stream, this little cutoff low feature, and it's going to ride up. And depending on where this big Arctic high sets up is going to depend on if this storm tracks up into the lakes or goes out to sea. So starting with the European, which is one extreme, which is a suppressed solution, you can see by the time we get to Saturday, there is a big vortex over southeast Canada. It's a split from the polar vortex, driving down cold air, and you have this storm right here. Now, depending upon a few things we have to look at here. One, there's a piece split off of this vortex causing an early phase, which would mean a storm into the lakes, and this vortex relaxes a little bit, which would mean all rain for the whole entire east. Maybe some mountain snows in Vermont. Or, as the European is suggesting, does this vortex press hard? And basically, this is an area of confluence right here. All that means is at the surface, this is 18,000 feet in the atmosphere, high pressure forms right in here. And that high pressure stops the storm here from moving into the lake. So what happens on the European run is, you could see, this is suppressing. We have a storm that's right around here as we get to Sunday, and you can actually see that on the model right here. So here it is. So you can see the European model has a suppressed storm, and actually it's not really much of an event. But I think that's one extreme. If you look at the ensemble members, which test this model for error, you'll see that a lot of them are north of this solution. So now let's look at the GFS. So we know the European, again, has this vortex pressing, causing the storm to stay south. But now look at the GFS. So here's the European. Here's the GFS. See what's going on here? You have a little bit more of a phase. It's splitting this piece off the vortex. This phase is, and what the phase does is, it brings up all this mild southeast air. So that's what's going on there, and that is a rainstorm for the entire tri-state area, maybe some mountain snow. So that's the GFS, that's the European. Two big different solutions. Right now, I think it's way too early to figure out what's going to go on here. I think it's going to eventually be a blend between the two. Maybe it's something where, just north of Philadelphia, maybe just up in this area. Let's see if I can draw this out for you. Maybe, it's a snow event that goes something like this, potentially. Again, that's not a first call or anything. I'm just saying, just from seeing these situations before, again, it's all going to depend on how that Arctic air presses. So keep checking in the next couple of days. I'll keep you updated. Once we get inside the 5-day period, if necessary, I'll take more of a stance.